Advent is that time of year when we remember and we celebrate how God's light has come into our world. As Isaiah has said, the people walking in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of deep darkness, a light has dawned. During Advent, we remember that Jesus truly is Emmanuel, God with us. In the person of Jesus Christ, God was with us. In the person of Jesus Christ, God still is with us. And during Advent, we remind ourselves that God didn't just enter into our world way back at some point back then, do some pretty neat things to help some people out, and then leave. Rather, we reflect upon how God is always entering our world. Every day, every hour, every minute, every second is Advent, is the time of God's coming to us. But it's important really for us to remember that if the light has now come, there was a time that preceded it where things felt pretty dark. And if God is now with us, it means that God's presence was preceded by a time where it felt as though that he wasn't all that close to us. In order for the sun's rays to dawn in our souls, we have to actually endure the blackness that is the dark night of the soul. But here's the most important thing to remember of all. God in Jesus Christ didn't pull us out of our dark valley or out of our sense of God forsakenness. He actually entered into it. In Jesus Christ, God meets us exactly where we are at in life. And he brings the light of the divine into our dark valleys. He enters willingly into our sense of being abandoned, forsaken by God. Like I said, God meets us exactly where we are at in life. But if you're like me, you spend an awful lot of your time avoiding or lamenting where you're at in life, wanting to be elsewhere. But where you are is precisely where God is. God isn't looking to meet you at the place you want to be someday. God is looking to meet you where you are at right now in this very moment, regardless of the condition of your heart, regardless of your spirituality. God wants to meet you in this place called the present. If you're like me, you probably spend a lot of your time thinking that your relationship with God will get better. It'll get closer someday down the road whenever things in life get better. But here's the thing. The light dawns in the land of deep darkness. It doesn't dawn in the land where the light already exists. We have to accept God in the darkness. We have to accept God's acceptance of us in the darkness. So Advent spirituality, it's all about orientation, where we are looking at in the moment. Are you spending most of your time with your back turned to the sunrise, staring at those fading, stretching shadows on the ground? Or have you turned to let the warmth of the sun's rays take your breath away as they paint the morning skies with the glory that is the sun's splendor?